On today's video, I'm going to do a review and unboxing of some GMRS radios from Samcom. They reached out to me and asked me if I could do a review. There's no payment for this. They sent them and for free asked me to review them. These are from China. I'm going to do an interesting concept of what these can do, which I have not seen before, and other cool features these have. So to start, I'm going to try out this 360 camera. We'll see how this goes. So I'm going to start recording. All right. I'm going to do my best to keep this in the right aspect ratio. It keeps wanting to change because it thinks it's a different orientation. So I'm going to open these up. It comes with a user manual. It has 2 radios in the box. Normally 2 batteries would go right here, but I've already charged these up. So this is 1 radio, 2 radios. Oh, there we go. It has a braided cable. I don't know how well that's going to show up, but it's braided. Sorry, it keeps changing orientation. Anyway, it comes down to 2 right here. All right. And it has a little USB brick like everything else does these days. There we go. It's a little USB-A. The cable actually comes with a little twisty tie, but that's on there. All right, and then it also comes with 2 radio clips. So these are detachable. I wanted to show how easy these were to put on. So it has a little squeeze right there. And then you just squeeze and slide on, it clicks. And then if you want to take them off, it has a little tab right there that you can do. So click and click. And then it also comes with 2 headsets. I'm going to get to these in a minute because these have a very interesting feature that I personally am a huge fan of. Okay, so that's the box. That's everything that's in the box. So we're going to go over these radios right here. I am going to save those headsets for just a second, and then I'll go over the little manual. One thing that's really nice, let's see how this works on the headset. Really don't know if this is going to work. The manual is laid out really well. Again, these are made in China, and normally, or historically, I guess I should say, there's been an issue with the translation from Mandarin or Chinese to English, and this has actually been really good. I've read through it a couple of times now, and it's good. It's got good pictures. Let me see if I can get a good clip of it here. It's really clear on the settings, and then what's really nice is on the back. Let me see if I can headshot that real quick. It has the GMRS channel chart with the well, high and low, but I'll go over that in a second. And then it's also got the weather of what weather 1 through 11 are. And then it's got your CTCSS and DC, your digital PL tones. And then your normal safety stuff. So I'll take this and set it to the side. Then, here are the radios. So they are very small. I wanted to do some comparisons. I didn't know what would be a good comparison. So here is a Nalgene for comparison. And then here is a Midland GXT1000. These are the ones I've used for forever. They're a little bit smaller. Yep, so there's that. And then, just because I've been a huge fan of this radio lately, this is the Alliance HD1. So that's the comparison of these. So why these? They reached out and asked if I'd be interested in looking at them. Before they even sent them, the person I was talking to just asked if it's something I'd be interested in. The website had something I had not seen before, and it's a group function. So that being said, Midland also has a group function, and I've had these for forever, maybe since they came out, I don't even know, so long. And I've never used the group function on these. That being said, if you look on here, let me get the orientation right and the button just right. So this is a group button. Where these really come into play is something like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, hiking trips, mountaineering trip, well maybe not mountaineering, but somewhere you're gonna have a bunch of people work in the field. What's really helpful when you have those kind of large groups is, let's do a big commercial kind of instance, right? So you'll have your project manager, then you'll have kind of your person that's over like the electricians, the person that's over the shipping and receiving, person that's over you know, the floor, whatever's kind of being built, those kind of things, the person that's over making sure communication's going well between a client. And all that's happening on site, right? You have a ton of people working and different hands doing stuff. And, you know, most places will have some kind of, you know, FRS, GMRS radio. And what usually happens is everybody that's on that site is on the same channel. And so if, you know, accounting, that's a terrible example, but if accounting wants to talk to the general contractor, everybody hears what's going on, right? But say you want to have like your core leadership team be able to talk to each other, because you just, you know, there's just conversations that come up of, you know, is this done, is that done? But everyone in the whole building or job site or whatever it might be doesn't need to know. And you want to have one channel for that, and you want to have a second channel for that, you know, electrician group, or your, you know, field guide group, you know, if you're doing hiking or camping or your whatever that looks like. What this gives you with that group call button is one radio can be on one frequency channel, the other radio can be on another frequency channel, so you're having two separate conversations. Then you can take and press the group button, program, same thing, from best I can tell, it's some kind of PL tone, the CTCSS or the digital version, and then you take and press this button, and then that now will be one channel or group that you're talking to amongst all of these radios, and all of these other radios of your, you know, other parts of your team don't hear that conversation. I couldn't find a list in here of what those groups were, so I'm not exactly sure what group means. I tried Googling on a couple other things, especially the mid-links, never used it. But anyway, there's a group in there, and it's clearly like a different channel is my guess. I don't know where that falls into stuff. But yeah, that's it. So I'd like to do a test and demonstrate that. We'll see how this works. I tried it a few minutes ago. It seemed to work pretty well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn back on camera. We're just going to pretend like this is your organization, campsite, business, whatever it wants to be. And I'm talking on this, which is going to be channel 20. And for this, privacy code 60, but it's really 143 on over here. So business, doing business things over here, camping things on here. And this is not coming over here, just take my word for it, but it's all just over here. You can see the screen. Oop, yep, feedback and everything. All right, so now I'm gonna take this one, which is on channel 7, no PL tone on this one, and business conversation over here. It's just coming from over here. All right, so now I've done communication with, you know, your groups, whatever's going on. Now let's say you have like your core leadership team or an emergency. That's another place, that was good, where these can come into play, where you have an emergency group, right? And on this one, I'm gonna do group 10 and talk, and it's coming through loud and clear. And none of these other radios heard it. So these radios here had no idea the conversation was going on. This radio over here had no idea the conversation was going on. Same radio I was using, and then back to normal business things of camping stuff going on here. On just over here, nothing on these others. I think that is really cool that it's easy right? Because other stuff has had groups before, but I mean, this makes it so easy. They're really small. I did not see anything about waterproofness in here, but I'll put a little note. I'll email them and ask if there's any kind of water resistance. I don't think there is, just based on the battery. It's just a little clamshell slide out. But that being said, these would be really good, I think, for any kind of, you know, light duty business stuff, medium duty, where you're not going to be out in the elements a bunch. Or, I mean, maybe if you're going to do like a camp or a camping trip, where say you're going to have different groups. So you're going to have one group doing like navigation, one group's doing, you know, campfire building, and another group's doing, you know, shotgun stuff, whatever that might be. And everyone can be on their own thing, right? Because all those groups are going to need different stuff. And then all of a sudden, you know, someone, you know, has a, I don't know, sprained finger, and now also you need to get, you know, your medical person and make sure all the, you know, leaders for that thing know what's going on. And now all of a sudden you have your group button and conversation, and then it's just really easy. The other thing this has, which I'll get to the other stuff in a second. The other thing this has is a weather thing, like everything else, I guess, these days. It's got the weather alert, and it's got the same weather thing, so you can go through and just select your weather. It has a flashlight, just like everything else these days. What I like, and I've noticed on a couple other little radios, is it's just a button, and it's properly labeled for the flashlight. Like some of them just have like, hey, here's an option button. It could be anything, but this is really simple. So you have your flashlight button, PTT, push to talk, and then your speaker mic button, or speaker thing over here. So one thing that I think is, sorry, they're just ants covering this towel. They're just loving it. One thing that I've talked about many times before is interoperability with everything, and that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. One of the things in this specific circumstance is USB-C. So it does have the charging brick here, and it, you know, it's your normal charging brick as you would expect, but these are USB-C, and that means at this point in time, you know, like 70% of the stuff is USB-C to some degree, or it's USB mini or something. So that means you can probably find a charging cable and probably something to give power to that charging cable somewhere. The benefit obviously is this is splits off, and you can charge both off of one. That obviously is a big perk, but that's just huge, is USB-C. I really like that. There were some new CB radios that just came out maybe a month or two ago, and they're also USB-C rechargeable, and they're also from China. So that's really A+ on that. Okay, so here are the headsets. A lot of stuff charges with USB-C, and then you have a different port for, you know, your other stuff. So let me get a close-up of these, because this is also USB-C, and not only is it USB-C, it also has a right angle on it, and hi moo cow, and so that means that your chances of pulling this out, you know, just by like tugging on it, is very low. And that really shows to me, here we go. All right, so here is your right angle USB-C. This also is braided. I don't know how well the braiding is gonna show up, but this is braided as well, even this little piece. So this is a little thicker coming from the PTT button that's right here, and your mic, and then it gets a little smaller, but it's not just rubber and plastic. So that, I mean, it probably costs a few cents more, but that shows to me that's really big. All right, so you take that, If I can do it. There we go. I did it inside. Okay. And then you plug it in. And so now, sorry, let me get one of these. So now, you know, you do your thing of putting on your thing, and then you do radio check, check. There you go. And it works. I mean, it's just the fact that it's USB-C is huge. I am a major fan of less stuff. I don't do much gun stuff on here, but one thing that I was a huge fan of is making sure all that stuff was streamlined too, you know, make, model, those kind of things, calibers. The reason I really like GMRS is obviously there's a lot of variables, I get it, PL tones, I get all that stuff. But I can go to somebody in the US and say, hey, I'm on a GMRS FRS of channel 12. They can go to channel 12, right? And it's the same thing of, you know, and it still happens with the truck industry, but more, you know, in the 60s, 70s when CB radio was everywhere, you know, 19 was calling, 9 was emergency. The hope in like the communication world is that 3 on FRS GMRS will be emergency. And I know that anywhere I go, well, you know, not that one, but any of these radios that I go to use are going to work together, and that's huge. And then adding on top of that, the fact, sorry, more ants, summer in Texas, the more that you add onto that of USB-C is just huge. I mean, you know, you can just toss these in the car and charge them. You can charge these off a solar, you know, a battery that's on a solar panel if you're out on a huge hiking trip. They're just really good little radios. I looked online today, and today is August 20th of 2022. On Amazon, there was a coupon, a little discount that was on there. I don't know if it's still going to be there, but it reduced, I think it was like 20%. It was huge. And they're just good radios. So if you are looking for something, they're handy little things. They've got good belt clips. They're tiny. They're light. The other good thing on this too is, I mean, just like everything else these days, I guess, it has a lock on it. So you can go through and, you know, you can press stuff and it's not going to do anything. But same thing, you press the group and you're still talking to your group, and you're still talking to your channel 20 group thing that's going on, your channel, not group. So that's it. These are Samcom. Lots of little ants everywhere. Really wanting those, all see what's going on. And yeah, they're just good radios. So if you're looking for a small GMRS radio and the screen's really good, hopefully that came clear on the Insta360 Go 2. The screen's really clear. The buttons are super easy. It's very, once the clip is in the thing, it's very ergonomic. And they're easy. So thanks for watching. And again, these were the Samcom T2 2A radios, and they're on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below. Thanks for watching.